What if everything you've been told about success is wrong? For years, we've been taught that the only way to grow is to push ourselves beyond our comfort zones, work harder, grind longer, and accept constant stress as the price of progress. The message is clear: discomfort equals growth, and comfort equals weakness. But Kristen Butler flips this belief on its head. She argues that the real path to lasting success doesn't come from exhaustion or endless struggle. It comes from comfort, flow, and ease. At just 26, Butler seemed successful on the outside, but was completely burned out inside. That breaking point forced her to rethink everything, and she discovered that living from a place of comfort is not about stagnation, it's about strength. In the comfort zone, Butler shows that this space is not a trap, but a launchpad, the place where confidence and creativity flourish. If you're tired of chasing goals at the cost of your well-being, this book offers a way to thrive with less stress and more joy. As the founder of Power of Positivity, followed by over 50 million people, Butler brings both personal experience and practical wisdom to a message that redefines success. Up to this point, we've looked at how success is often linked with struggle, but it's important to understand just how deeply this idea has shaped our culture. From motivational speakers to workplace slogans, the advice to get out of your comfort zone is repeated so often that it feels like a rule of life. We're told that only by stepping into discomfort can we unlock real growth, and that staying comfortable is the same as staying stuck. This belief has become a kind of badge of honor, where stress and exhaustion are mistaken for evidence of ambition. The author pushes back against this idea. Instead of being a gateway to growth, constant discomfort can be damaging. When people force themselves into stress day after day, what often follows is burnout, a loss of self-trust, and sometimes even paralysis in the face of future challenges. Rather than motivating, discomfort can become a chain that ties someone to cycles of anxiety. The author said it plainly: chasing discomfort chains you to discomfort. The truth is, you cannot create a fulfilling life when you are uncomfortable. In this view, discomfort isn't just unhelpful, it can directly block the joy and creativity needed to move forward. Here lies the key shift. The comfort zone, far from being a trap, is actually the foundation for sustainable progress. The author describes it as a mental and emotional state where you feel safe, supported, energized, and aligned. It's a place where your nervous system is calm enough to allow focus and your energy is steady enough to be creative. This is the opposite of stagnation. Instead of feeling dull or stuck, the comfort zone offers clarity and confidence, creating a strong base from which new actions can grow. It's also important to clear up what this zone is not. Many people confuse comfort with laziness or complacency, but that's a misunderstanding. True comfort, as defined in this book, isn't about hiding from life or refusing to grow. It's not about endless rest or avoiding challenges. Instead, it's about being in a state where you can move forward naturally, without the heavy weight of fear or resistance. Think of it as a launch pad rather than a hiding place. A helpful way to see this is through the world of athletes and performers. Before stepping onto a stage or into a competition, they rehearse, prepare, and practice until their movements or words feel natural. By the time the spotlight hits, they are not tense or panicked. They are steady, focused, and grounded in their comfort zone. Their success doesn't come from feeling unsafe or overwhelmed. It comes from the security of knowing they are ready. This same principle applies to everyday life. When you approach a task from a place of calm assurance, you are much more likely to succeed than if you force yourself into stress. This redefines how progress should be measured. Wanting ease doesn't mean someone is weak or unmotivated. It means they are smart enough to build their goals on a solid base of energy and stability. Instead of glorifying struggle for its own sake, the author believes we should celebrate the clarity and strength that come from comfort. By doing so, growth becomes not only possible but also sustainable over time. Building on this idea of redefining comfort, the book explains that we all operate within three main zones of living, each with its own mindset and results. These zones are the complacent zone, the survival zone, and the comfort zone. Understanding how they differ is key to seeing why comfort, rather than struggle, is the healthiest place to grow from. The complacent zone is where very little energy or ambition exists. In this state, a person feels stuck or indifferent, often avoiding challenges altogether. Life here may feel safe on the surface, but it lacks movement. Without curiosity or motivation, progress stalls, and over time this can lead to dissatisfaction and regret. It's not true comfort, but more like settling for less than you're capable of. In contrast, the survival zone is the one most often glorified by hustle culture. Here, people are constantly pushing, grinding, and reacting to stress. It's an anxious and high-pressure state where exhaustion is worn like a badge of honor. The author thinks that while survival mode can sometimes produce short bursts of effort, it cannot sustain long-term growth. Living here for too long leads to burnout, emotional depletion, and a strained relationship with your own goals. Instead of thriving, people in this zone are simply enduring. The comfort zone, as the author describes it, is where balance and empowerment exist. It's marked by calm confidence, steady energy, and a sense of alignment between what you're doing and what you value. From this state, productivity feels natural, and creativity flows more easily. Progress made here is consistent rather than forced, which is why the author argues it's the most reliable place to build your life. A helpful metaphor used in the book is that the comfort zone is like a rubber band. When you're in it, you have the chance to expand gradually, stretching yourself just enough to grow without snapping under pressure. The author wrote, "Your comfort zone is like a rubber band. Gradually it expands, stretching farther and farther to eventually encompass everything that you desire." This imagery shows that growth doesn't have to mean sudden leaps into discomfort. Instead, it's about steady expansion that feels natural and sustainable. By encouraging people to spend most of their time in the comfort zone and stretch it gently over time, the book challenges the common belief that only pain creates progress. The truth is, growth that begins from comfort doesn't just last longer, it feels better along the way. This approach makes success something that supports your well-being instead of draining it. After understanding the three zones of living, the book introduces a practical approach called the Create from Comfort process. This is a structured way to set goals and move toward them without falling into the stress and exhaustion that come from pushing too hard. Instead of seeing growth as something that must always be uncomfortable, this process shows how progress can be steady, enjoyable, and more sustainable when it begins from ease. The first step is to clear a safe inner space. The author thinks that when your mind is crowded with stress or scattered thoughts, it's difficult to move forward with confidence. Creating calm through simple rituals makes all the difference. For instance, journaling for just 5 minutes before goal setting helps to release mental clutter and set a peaceful foundation. This small act shifts the nervous system away from tension, giving you the clarity to approach tasks without resistance. Some people might use deep breathing, a short walk, or even quiet meditation, but the key idea is that your starting point should feel safe and centered. Once that inner calm is established, the next step is to define your vision clearly. The author said that vague goals tend to leave us stuck because they don't generate real momentum. Specificity creates focus and belief, turning dreams into something tangible. A tool suggested in the book is the Comfort Zone Vision Board. Unlike traditional vision boards that might feel distant or unrealistic, this one emphasizes images and words that reflect a life you can already see yourself stepping into. By grounding your vision in comfort, the goals feel attainable rather than overwhelming, which builds motivation rather than fear. With a vision in place, the third step is to acclimate and expand gradually. This means starting with the smallest possible actions instead of forcing yourself into massive leaps. The author emphasizes microhabits, which are easy, repeatable steps that reduce resistance. Imagine someone who wants to write a book. Instead of pressuring themselves to produce an hour of writing every day, they could begin with 5 minutes. Over time, those 5 minutes build confidence, establish rhythm, and naturally grow into more. This method not only reduces the chance of burnout but also transforms the process into something enjoyable. A powerful part of this approach is the feedback loop it creates. Small wins build trust in yourself, which makes your comfort zone expand little by little. Every success, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that you're capable. That belief, in turn, lowers resistance to taking the next step. What starts as a small action becomes a continuous cycle of confidence and progress, all without the crushing weight of fear or pressure. This stands in contrast to much of traditional self-help advice, which often insists on doing hard things daily to toughen yourself up. For many people, that advice backfires. Forcing yourself into discomfort can cause avoidance, resentment, or exhaustion. The author thinks that it's not weakness to choose an easier path, it's wisdom. By building from a place of calm assurance, you don't just move forward, you create momentum that actually lasts. The Create from Comfort process reframes growth as something that feels good, rather than something you dread. It shows that starting small, working with clarity, and respecting your emotional state isn't just kinder, it's far more effective. This way of creating allows goals to unfold naturally, making success a journey that supports your well-being instead of draining it. Building on the idea of creating from comfort, the author also highlights how much our inner dialogue shapes the way our comfort zone feels. A supportive mindset can make this space expansive and energizing, while negative thinking can shrink it into something that feels like a cage. The way we speak to ourselves determines whether we move forward with calm confidence or hold ourselves back through fear and doubt. The first step is to identify limiting beliefs. Many people carry hidden ideas such as, I have to hustle to succeed or rest is for the weak. These thoughts might seem motivating at first, but they eventually drain energy and foster guilt. Replacing them with empowering beliefs creates a healthier foundation. The author thinks reframing rest as fuel for brilliance or seeing peace as the environment where growth thrives can instantly shift how you approach your goals. Over time, this change softens the pressure and makes progress feel natural instead of forced. The second step is to use positive affirmations. Simple present tense mantras like, I allow success to flow with ease, are encouraged because repetition has the power to rewire inner narratives. At first, these phrases may feel artificial, but by repeating them daily, they begin to reshape the subconscious mind. The author said that this practice builds a new identity aligned with calm confidence, which naturally reduces stress and increases trust in the process of growth. The third step is to train confidence through body language. Even small physical adjustments can send powerful signals to the brain. Standing tall, breathing deeply, or opening up your posture shifts you into a state of control and ease. The author suggests trying a 2-minute power pose before a challenging task. This doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see yourself, reinforcing the belief that you are capable and steady. The fourth step is to cultivate flow, a state where focus and enjoyment merge seamlessly. Flow arises when you are fully present, your attention is undivided, and resistance fades away. Practical ways to invite this state include working on one task at a time, removing distractions, and beginning with a ritual that sparks joy. For example, sitting down to write while playing gentle lo-fi music and sipping your favorite tea can transform your workspace into a zone of creativity. Instead of feeling pressured, you feel supported, and productivity emerges naturally from comfort. Upgrading your mindset in this way allows your comfort zone to expand without strain. It turns what might have once felt like a limitation into the most reliable foundation for growth, proving that inner alignment is just as important as external action. After exploring how mindset shapes the comfort zone, the focus naturally shifts to the external world. Even the strongest inner beliefs can be weakened if the environment and relationships around you constantly drain your energy. The author thinks that surrounding yourself with the right kind of energy is just as important as cultivating it within, because the comfort zone does not exist in isolation. It is deeply influenced by the people and places that fill your daily life. A central idea here is the difference between what the author calls luminaries and gluminaries. Luminaries are the people who uplift you, encourage your efforts, and genuinely believe in your ability to grow. Being around them feels effortless, like sunlight nourishing a plant. Gluminaries, on the other hand, are those who cast shadows. They doubt, criticize, or drain your spirit in subtle or obvious ways. The contrast can be felt immediately. After a conversation with a luminary, you walk away lighter, with more energy to take action. After time with a gluminary, you may feel tense, second-guessing yourself, or simply exhausted. The author encourages making a clear list of who in your life acts as a source of energy and who leaves you feeling depleted. This exercise is not about judging people harshly, but about noticing patterns. For instance, if you consistently feel heavy after lunch with a certain colleague, that's useful information about the kind of energy exchange happening there. With this awareness, you can make more intentional choices about how much access different people have to your space. Once this clarity is in place, the next step is to actively increase the presence of luminaries. The author said that joining positive communities, seeking mentors who reflect the qualities you admire, and building relationships based on mutual support can dramatically expand the comfort zone. For example, being part of a creative group where members celebrate each other's progress can make personal growth feel joyful rather than pressured. The energy of shared encouragement creates momentum that's hard to generate alone. At the same time, it is essential to set boundaries with luminaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are gentle but firm lines that protect your inner peace. The author suggests using calm, direct language such as, I'm not available for that kind of energy today. This approach avoids unnecessary conflict while making it clear that your well-being matters. Over time, these boundaries train others to respect the environment you are creating for yourself. One of the most powerful reminders from the book is the phrase, you are here to enjoy life. If someone regularly dims your joy, it is worth reevaluating how much space they occupy in your world. Protecting your comfort zone from draining influences is not selfish, it is strategic. By consciously choosing who and what surrounds you, you turn your environment into a supportive framework that amplifies your energy instead of scattering it. In this way, relationships and environments become an extension of the comfort zone itself. They either reinforce the sense of safety and possibility you've built, or they undermine it. When you choose to lean toward the light of luminaries and limit the pull of gloominaries, you give yourself the best chance to grow with ease and flow. Building on the idea of protecting your environment, the author takes a bold step by redefining what success itself should mean. For most of us, success has long been tied to sacrifice, struggle, and pushing ourselves past exhaustion. Yet the author thinks this narrative is flawed at its core. True success, they argue, is not about suffering through endless effort, but about aligning with joy and ease as the foundation for a meaningful life. The message is captured clearly in one of the book's most striking lines. You are here to enjoy life. This is your primary purpose. Enjoyment is your ultimate goal and the most accurate gauge of success. With this statement, the author turns a common assumption upside down. Enjoyment is not something to be earned after success, but the very definition of success itself. This idea challenges the cultural myth that achievement must come at the cost of well-being. Think about the standard model of launching a business: long nights, skipped meals, constant stress. In the survival zone, this grind is celebrated as a badge of honor. But a person rooted in their comfort zone might take a different path. They could start small, creating a product or service that feels exciting and natural while maintaining their sense of balance. Instead of burning out early, they gradually build something sustainable, fueled by enthusiasm rather than pressure. The outcome is often better, not only because they preserve their energy, but also because their joy naturally attracts opportunities and supportive people. The author emphasizes that when we operate from joy and calm, we unlock creativity and problem-solving skills that stress usually blocks. Neuroscience supports this, showing that feelings of safety and ease allow the brain's higher functions, like imagination, reasoning, and emotional intelligence, to work at full capacity. By contrast, stress keeps the mind in survival mode, limiting focus to short-term threats and draining energy that could be used for growth. A simple example can illustrate this point. Imagine preparing for an important presentation. If you stay up all night rehearsing in fear, your nerves may sabotage your delivery. But if you approach it from comfort, well-rested, grounded, maybe with a brief walk and some calming breaths beforehand, you present with clarity, confidence, and even enjoyment. The latter not only feels better, but almost always produces a stronger performance. The author said that seeking ease does not mean avoiding challenge. Instead, it means creating conditions where challenges feel invigorating rather than threatening. A musician in flow is still working hard, but their effort feels like play. An entrepreneur designing a passion-driven project may still face obstacles, but their sense of joy makes those obstacles feel manageable rather than crushing. What this reveals is that joy, creativity, and ease are not luxuries but powerful forces that produce results. They generate resilience, consistency, and genuine innovation. They also make the journey itself worth living, instead of treating happiness as a distant reward. The key encouragement here is simple. Wanting ease does not make you weak. On the contrary, it means you are aligned with your true design. Success, in this vision, is not about suffering to prove yourself. It is about cultivating an environment and mindset where your best self can thrive, and joy is both the path and the destination. We've come full circle to see that the comfort zone is not a trap, but the very place where growth begins. The author thinks that when we redefine comfort as safety, clarity, and ease, it becomes the most powerful foundation for progress. Rather than glorifying stress and struggle, this approach shows that real achievement comes faster and with more joy when we move from calm confidence instead of fear. Success is no longer measured by sacrifice or hustle, but by alignment, flow, and authentic happiness. If you feel worn out from forcing results, the comfort zone offers a gentler and wiser path to thrive.